Hey, welcome guys. Tony Porter, and this is Universal Baseball Association YouTube channel. Hope everybody's doing well. This is going to be a full game today. It is the Dodgers at Shea Stadium in 1974. This is my 5-team replay using Fall Classic Baseball. And let me tidy this up a little bit. There we go. Um, and yeah, we are going to a little bit of glare because I have these protected in some. These are actual, printed cards from the company, so I do protect those versus the ones that I kind of print at home. I don't generally protect those the same way. Um, and It's going to be Tom Seaver versus Andy Messersmith. Andy Messersmith had a 1.1 ERA, a 20-6 record, 300 innings pitched, 39 games started, but only 13 complete games. So you'll probably see him. He has his C stuff today, by the way. Seaver has his A stuff. Seaver had 236 innings pitched that season, 32 starts. So he must have. I feel he faced some injuries. Did not have the best of seasons. Did not have the your standard, early 70s Seaver season. He was a little bit up in the threes in terms of ERA. A 1.1 WHIP was still not bad. He had an 11-11 record. So he was not his flawless self in 74. But let's see what happens in this game. It should be a good one. Let's get started here. It's Bill Buckner leading off, and I'm using the helper that is Replay Baseball. And Bill Buckner, the pitch is 66. That's trouble right off the bat, and that's a drive in the gap. That's going to split the outfielders and roll to the wall. Digging for second is Buckner. The throw comes in from Schneck, the center fielder, and not in time. That's a leadoff double by Bill Buckner right off the bat. Connects against Tom Terrific, and here is a guy named Bill Russell, right-handed hitter, shortstop. He's a 12 shortstop with a W arm and a 10 error rating, and that's a 26 against a lefty. It'd be a single. Otherwise, it's popped up middle infield. Mian and Martinez, and it's Martinez who calls off Felix Mian. Around the infield for the Mets from third base to first is Garrett Martinez, Ted Martinez, Felix Mian, and John the Hammer Milner at first base. Behind the plate is Jerry Grody. In the outfield from left to right, it'll be Jones, Schneck, and Staub. All right, here's Jimmy, the toy cannon Wynn, played with the Astros for many years. And it's a 16, and that'll be a 1-14 strikeout. The 9 is a swing and a miss. Seaver with the heat. Blows it by. Jimmy Wynn and Steve Garvey. Steve Garvey, he was a 312 hitter. And a 63 is going to be a check swing, the check with the first base umpire, and he rings him up, and that retires the side. So no runs for the Dodgers in the first inning, and we go to the Mets in the bottom of the first here in Shea Stadium in beautiful downtown Queens, New York. Go to Citi Field. It's still in pretty much the same place. Wayne Garrett leads off for the Mets, a 61, and that'll be strike 3 called. One away. Felix Mian choking up. 34, and a 34 will be a ground ball up the middle, and that's through for a base hit. So a hit for Felix Mian. And next up is Cleon Jones. Cleon Jones with 7 home runs, 270 batting average for the Mets. And he faces the righty Andy Messersmith. The pitch, and that is a 31. That's going to be, I play that as a range play, and that 17 is going to tell me that it's probably going to drop in. It's against the third baseman, Say. So a little blooper over Say's glove. Will Say get to it? That's the question. And he's a 13, pretty high, but not as high as a 17. So that drops in. Stopping at second is Mian. Mian had to hold up to make sure that Say wasn't going to make that catch. So it's a base hit for Cleon Jones. That puts runners on first and second. Here comes Rusty Staub. Le Grand Orange. The pitch by Messersmith. And a 22. That's ball 4. That's going to load the bases. So the Mets threatening here. Mets record 28-31 so far. The Dodgers are 40-23. Yes, sirree. All right, here's John the Hammer Milner with the infield back. The pitch, and a 15 will be a line drive at the third baseman. And this could be a double play, and no, it is not. So it's ripped and caught by Say. Tries to get to the bag ahead of Mian, but Mian played it smart and was waiting to make sure Say didn't catch that. So that's 2 outs now, and here comes a guy named Dave Schneck who plays half the season for the Mets. 220, 205 batting average is what I'm seeing here. So eventually, I guess the Mets give up on him. The lefty, he's a lefty. He's a 46. Now that's a ballpark, but and he has a possibility of a ballpark home run, and that's going to be a deep drive. This has a possibility of going out to right field. Back goes Crawford to the track, to the wall, looks up, and it's out of here. Grand slam. Dave Schneck. Holy smokes. So we're looking at the Shea Stadium ballpark. Let's just make sure. It is a 1 though, and it's a lefty, and that ball is gone here at Shea Stadium. So it's a grand slam. The Mets are up 4-0. Dave Schneck, who hit 5 home runs. All right, and here's Jerry Grody. Pitch from Messersmith, 26, and against the lefty, it's a single. Otherwise, it's a bouncer to Lopes over to first, and that retires the side. But the Mets pick up 4 runs, 4 big runs in that grand slam by Schneck. And it's Willie Crawford at the plate. He bats from the left side. Here's the pitch from Seaver of 42, and that's a fly ball left field. Cleon Jones, he's there. Went away. Ron Say next. And a 56, it'll be a swing and a miss, and he goes down on strike. Seaver with the fastball. And Steve Yeager of 53. Now that is a range check, an official. It's first baseman Milner. That's going to be by Milner for a double down the line. Hit hard. Past the diving Milner. There's no way he's a 12. There is no way he's a 12 there. John Milner is a 7, so that's by him for a double down the line. Oppo. So Yeager goes Oppo. And here is Davey Lopes now, batting 8th. Pitch from Seaver, and that's a 36, which will be a fly ball center field, shallow center field. And wait a second. Hold on a second. I got Messersmith batting. What happened? Fly out, strikeout, a double. Oh, okay, that was the 3rd out. All right, it's a fly out center field, and that'll do it. That will do it. All right, so we're in the bottom of the 2nd now. It is Ted Martinez. Here's the pitch from Messersmith, a 41, and that'll be ball 4, so he picks up a walk. Tom Seaver will bunt, and a 4, he's a 5, so that'll be a good bunt to the pitcher. I only roll 1 die here. I kind of do my own thing with the bunts. I kind of use the field day system. It's a little bit simpler, and I like it a little bit better. Wayne Garrett. So it's a good sacrifice by Seaver, and it's Wayne Garrett. You should also try out Field Day Baseball. It's a fantastic game, and you get all these seasons for $20. Fall Classic has about 120 seasons. Field Day not as many, but it's a positively great game. Here's Wayne Garrett with a runner at second base. The pitch, and it's a 24, which will be a 1-2 hit by pitch, -2. So that's a fly ball center field. And Martinez may be able to tag up here. He is that's center field now, only if he's fast. Here's Mian, Felix Mian, who's picked up a hit earlier, 35, will be a bouncer to the shortstop. Russell, over to first, that retires the side. Top of the 3rd. 4-0 Mets. Messersmith leads off. He's got a good hitting card, batted 240. And a 65 is going to be a pitcher home run on a 3, and that's a 2. That's a deep drive to left field. That ball is out of here. Home run for Andy Messersmith. And Tom Seaver, you should see the look on his face. He can't believe it. Just gave up a home run by the pitcher. So it is a -6. Seaver has a 1-9. I rolled a 2, so the -6, it leaves a 1-3, but I rolled a 2, and that ball's gone. Fantastic. Bill Buckner's got a double earlier in the game, a 56 here. That'll be a swing and a miss. Chases a curveball in the dirt. And 1 out now. And here's Bill Russell, a 12. And that'll be a walk on a 1. Otherwise, it's lifted to center. Schneck over. Under it. 2 out. Jimmy Wynn. Jimmy Wynn on the season, on the replay, in the sim, is batting .322 with 15 home runs. So he's having a heck of a season. Hit 32 home runs with a .271 average. Here's the pitch. And it's 25. That'll be a drive to center field. On the run is Schneck, and Schneck picks it up. tracks it down. And that is the end of the inning. Dodgers pick up one on the Messersmith home run. Now Messersmith did hit one home run that season. Here's Cleon Jones, who's got a hit so far. That's a 62, and that'll be a strikeout. Goes down swinging, and Rusty Staub is next with one out here in the bottom of the third. 34, and that's a ground ball through the right side for a base hit. So Staub is on at first, and it's John Milner, the hammer. And that's going to be a 51, so that's a possible error. 51-13, it's on the shortstop, and we looked, it was a 10, so that's going to be a 6-4-3. They turn it, and that ends the inning. So no error because it was on the shortstop is Russell. Russell, I looked at it, and it was a 10, and I rolled a 13. That odd number makes it a double play, and Steve Garvey leads off here. So Milner hits into a double play, and it's Steve Garvey's up here in the fourth. 52, that's another potential error, and I'm going to roll that a 5. 52, second baseman Mian, and Mian is a 5, so he'll actually picks it up, wild throw over Milner's head that goes into the dugout, so they're going to give Garvey second base, so it's an E4. A 2-base error on Felix Mian. Garvey's standing at second base now, and here's Willie Crawford. He batted .295 on the season, 23 doubles, 4 triples, 11 home runs. In the semis, batting .296 with 5 home runs. Pitched by Seaver, and that's going to be a 31, a range play. Now, I can't get caught with that 8 I rolled, and that's going to be a shortstop, and I believe, Martinez is not a good shortstop. He's not going to get that at all. That's going to get by him. Yeah, he's a terrible. Oh, actually, he makes that play. Not only does he make the play, he flips on this play. Runner will advance on this play. So it's a 6-3. Runner advances. And so runner on third now with 1 out. Infield is back. We're willing to give up, trade a run for an out here in the fourth. It's a 56. That'll be strike 3. And Ronnie Say goes down on strikes. That is Seaver's 5th strikeout so far. Having a good strikeout day. Here's Steve Yeager, the pitch. And it's a 33. That is line. Base hit. Run comes in. 4-2 game. Steve Yeager with a 2-out single. Clutch. And Davey Lopes now. Right-handed batter with a 33. And that's line. Base hit. 11 is an infield single. So they're going to stop Yeager at second base. And basically 2 out, 2 on for Andy Messersmith. Will he hit another home run? I don't know. Maybe 34, and that's going to be a tapper right back to Seaver. He's going to flip it to first base, and that retires the side. But the Dodgers pick up another run. They're creeping back slowly but surely. They're within a couple of runs now. Here is Dave Schneck. Pitch from Messersmith, 62, strike 3. 1 out. Grody's next with a 42, and that's a base on balls. So Grody is slow. Next up is Teddy Martinez with a 65. That's a -8, so it becomes an 8. So -8, 16 becomes a 1-8, and that's a deep drive, left field, way back, and that ball is gone. 2-run shot, 6-2 now. 2-run shot by Ted Martinez, and Messersmith is he's already a C pitcher. We're gonna start looking to get him out of this inning and then pull him. Tommy Seaver's up. The pitch to Seaver, a 33, and that's an out. 4, bouncer to second base. Lopes gets to it, throws to first. Retires Seaver, 2 outs. 6-2, big home run by Martinez. Here's Wayne Garrett. Wayne Garrett has 4 home runs. Hit 13 in 74. Here's the pitch. And a 53. That's going to be a range play. Got to roll again for that. I don't think I rolled again for that this last time. And so the first one was the KD check. This is for the range play. The right fielder's probably going to track this down. It's Crawford, and I rolled a 2, so it's almost guaranteed. Yeah, he's a 10, so he will track that down, and that retires the side. All right, Tom Terrific against Bill Buckner. All right, let's make sure everything's in view. Everything looks like it's in view. All right, good job. Here's the pitch. Top of the fifth. 6-2 Mets. 6-5-1 for the Mets. 2-5-0 for the Dodgers. Bill Buckner, one of my favorite players of all time. That's 65 -4. That becomes a 9, becomes a 5, and that ball is a deep drive to right. And Staub looks up, and that's gone. Home run. Bill Buckner cranks one out of the park, and the score's 6-3 now. Here's Bill Russell with a 53, and 5 will be a strikeout. That is a KD roll. And Seaver picks up another K, and that brings up Jimmy the Toy Cannon Win. The pitch to Win, 36, and that's a drive to center field. Schneck is on the run, and he'll track it down for out number 2. Here's Steve Garvey. The pitch to Garvey at 15 will be lined and caught by Wayne Garrett at third. So it's ripped, sweet spot off of Garvey's bat right into the Garrett, the third baseman's mitt, to retire the side. The Dodgers do pick up 1. They cut the lead to 3, 6-3 now, and it's going to be Felix Millan. I do have Messersmith in there. I'm not a guy I just want to get him let me see what I'm looking at here. You know what? I got Cleon Jones, and I got Staub, and I got Milner. I'm going to bring in a guy named Brewer. So let me call on Brewer, see if I can get a couple innings out of him. And let's see here. Jim Brewer, lefty. All right, we're going to roll. We're going to roll for him. And he will have his A stuff, according to my mods for lefties. So he will be facing Felix Millan. Here's the pitch, and that's a 22, and that's a rip. Base hit to left, played on a hop by Buckner, and Millan's on with a single. That's, I think, his second hit of the game. Here's Cleon Jones now. The pitch, and 54. That's going to be a potential wild pitch type thing. 13, and Brewer does spike one. It gets all the way to the backstop, allowing Millan to get to second base. It's a wild pitch. And Cleon Jones now with a runner in scoring position. Here's the pitch, and that is a 35, and a 35 will be a pop-up. Left side of the infield, and Say on the outfield grass. Waits for it and makes the catch. Here's Rusty Staub, Legrand Orange pitch. And it's a 23, and that'll be a ground ball to shortstop. Holding is Millan. Russell looks him back. And here's John Milner. Pitch, and a 65. That's going to be a 1-17. That's a deep drive to right, and that ball is way back and into the seats. Home run. John Milner blasts one out of the park here for a 2-run shot. Gives the Mets an 8-3 lead. Schneck. Pitch from Brewer, 26, and against a righty, it's a single. He's a lefty, so that's a ground ball up the middle, and Russell gets to it, spins, throws to first in time. Retires the side. Go to the top of the sixth. 8-3 Mets. 8-7-1 for the Mets. 3-6-0. We've had a lot of home runs in this game. That's pretty cool. It is 1974, so I don't have a lot of games with a lot of home runs. You know what I'm saying? It's a 65. This could be another home run, and it is. Long. That's a drive, a deep drive, way back into the seats. Home run. Solo shot for Crawford. 8-4. And here's Ronnie Say with a 63, and that'll be a swing and a miss, and he chases a ball in the dirt. 1 away. Here's Steve Yeager now with a 66, and that is Steve drives that one way back, and that ball is in the parking lot. Home run for Steve Yeager. That is his 5th home run of the season. And Seaver's given up 5 runs. Holy smokes, his ERA is 3.56 right now. But he's given up 5 runs in this game. And he's facing Davey Lopes. Here's a pitch, and that is a 35, which will be an out. The bouncer to third, Wayne Garrett. Accurate throw to first. And Brewer's up. We're not going to pinch hit for Brewer just yet, so we're going to let him bat. I don't know if he has a card to bat. Let's see if he does or he doesn't. I don't know. Sometimes they do. It depends. No, I don't see his card. I don't see his batting card. Um, a lot of the starters have batting cards, but I don't see. All right, so he doesn't have a batting card, and he's a 1 batter, so that's really not very good. So he will bat. Let's see what happens. Here's Brewer, the pitch, and that is a 31. Oh, this could be a range hit. It's to the shortstop, Martinez. Oh, that's going to get by Martinez, or he knocks it down at least. So it's going to be a hit for Brewer. Martinez, he's a 10, so he knocks it down, but safe at first is Brewer with a single, a 2-out single for the relief pitcher. All right, here's Bill Buckner now against Seaver with a 62, and that'll be a fly ball to right, stop towards the line, a couple of steps. He's there, makes the catch. Bottom of the 6th. Jim Brewer against Jerry Grody. 8-5 game, 52. That's a possible error. It's first it's a 6, and that's no good, so it's going to be a 12. A 52 is second baseman, Lopes. And Lopes is an error rating of a 9, so he'll make that play. 1 away. So Grody bounces out to Davey Lopes. Infield for the Dodgers, I haven't talked about it, but it's from third to first, Say, Russell, Lopes, and Garvey. Behind the plate is Yeager. And the outfield from left to right is Buckner, Wynn, and Crawford. Ted Martinez with a 25, and that's a tapper right back to the mound. Brewer over to first. And here's Tom Terrific with a 53, and a 3 will be a strikeout. And that ends the inning. We go to top of the 7th inning. So this is moving along. This game plays extremely fast. Here's Bill Russell, leads off the inning. Bill Russell today, how's he doing? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. Bill Russell, he's 0 for 3 today. Wynn is 0 for 3, and then Garvey's 0 for 3. So Seaver, he's given up nine hits, but I think like 4 of them are home runs. Let's look. Yeah, he's given a home run to the pitcher, a home run to Buckner, a home run to Crawford, and a home run to Yeager. So he's given up 4 home runs. All right, here's Russell. And that's a 36, which will be a bouncer to third base. Up with it is Garrett. 1 down. Jimmy Wynn now has got good power. 13. 1 to 6 on the 13, 1 to 16 base on balls, and it is a walk. And not only is it a walk, but it's a potential pick off. Okay, that's a potential pick off. He's a strong arm. He's a righty with a strong arm. And that pick off is going to be a 1 to 8. So we're going to roll. And that is a 20. So no pick off. And we're going to use that. Actually, a 20 is a potential error. So we're going to have to roll for an error now. And no error. So now we can roll for the stolen base as well. I always visualize that he dives back. And I've been thinking about that. And I said, well, should I roll that he gets picked off, but he still steals the base type thing? They throw down to second base. So I haven't tried that approach. So I could still roll on Jimmy Wynn's card. It's 1 to 11. So let's do that for the stolen base. And 1 to 11. Let's see what Grody is. Grody, I think, is an average arm. So it is a stolen base after all that. All right. So Jimmy Wynn makes it to second base after all those rolls. Here's Garvey against Seaver. And the pitch, and that's a 25, which will be a bouncer to third base, and Wayne Garrett looks him back. It's going to be a 5-3 with the runner holding at second base. That's 2 outs. And here's Willie Crawford, a left-hander. Pitch, and a 54. That's a potential wild pitch. It's a 16. Seaver is at an 11, so it's blocked by Grody. Again, the pitch, a 22, that is a base on balls. So that's a walk to Crawford, and it's Ron Say. Here's the pitch, and that is an 11, and 11 is going to be a base on balls. So Seaver's really struggling here. It's having control issues, and we're going to go to the bullpen here. Unfortunately, this is a guy I want to... he didn't have a lot of complete games, actually. 12. Really 30% of his games he completed We're going to go and call on Tug McGraw to come out. Going to call on Tug McGraw and see how Tug can do for what he can do for us. Lefty, we're going to roll now for him. Tug McGraw. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Remember to join Universal Baseball Association Facebook group and Fall Classic Facebook group. Tug McGraw, let's roll. And he will have his A stuff. All right, he will be facing Yeager with the bases loaded. See what happens. So the tying run is at first base. The go-ahead run is at the plate, the pitch. And the 21 will be a swing and a miss. Struck him out. That ends the inning. Bottom of the 7th, here we come. Brewer now. Brewer can go 10 batters. And how many has Brewer faced? Brewer has faced 8 batters. He can go a couple more. Here's Wayne Garrett leads off against Brewer, lefty on lefty, and it's a 23, and that's strikeout. Felix Millan now doesn't strike out very much with a 66, and that's a drive, and cut off by the center fielder Wynn. So Millan pulls up at first base. Was thinking of stretching it into a double, but changed his mind. So runner is on at first, and here's Cleon Jones. The pitch to Jones, a 45. And a 45 is a 15. That's bounced to third. It goes to second for 1. Back to first. Not in time. So fielder's choice. 2 outs. And here's stop. So we're going to put Brewer down 1. And here's the pitch to stop. 35. And that's a tapper. Knocked down by Brewer. Picks it up. Plenty of time. Throws over to first. And we go to top of the 8th. All right, it's going to be Davey Lopes leading off against Tug McGraw. And that's a 32, and a 32 will be a line drive caught by the pitcher McGraw. Self-defense by McGraw. You got to believe. Now, here's the pitcher Brewer. We're going to pinch hit. It's going to be, who's going to be? A righty Lee Lacy. How's that? How's that? For a blast from the past, Lee Lacy. Huh? Can play all sorts of positions, hits pretty good, does it all, a little bit of everything. So we're playing Fall Classic Baseball. Fantastic game by a real genius designer. Here he is, Lee Lacy. Here's the pitch, and that's 16, and that's a strikeout. So McGraw strikes out Lacy, the pinch hitter, and that brings up Bill Buckner. Bill Buckner today, 2 for 4. Yeager's 3 for 4, by the way. Here is the pitch to Buckner, 62, and that'll be a fly ball center field. Schneck takes a couple steps in, makes the catch. And Johnny Milner. It's going to be, who are we going to call on here? There's not too much in the bullpen. There's 3 guys in the bullpen. So this is going to be Mike Marshall's coming in. He pitched in over 100 games that season. He will pitch here. We're going to roll for him, see what kind of stuff he has. I have to get him a sleeve because he's one of those guys that you're calling on constantly. So Mike Marshall. He will, let's roll and see what his stuff is. A 13, and that'll be his B stuff. So Mike Marshall with his B stuff. On the mound, here's Milner with a 52. That's a possible error. That 7 is not going to be. So possible error, let's see. It's going to be a 52 on the shortstop. Martinez with a 12. Martinez at short is an 11, so he'll make that play over to first in time. I'm sorry, was that the Mets that were batting? No. Yeah, the Mets were batting. So that would be Russell, who's a 10. So he'll also make that play. Where's Russell? He was leading off. Yeah, Russell is a hold on a second. Russell is at short. Where is Bill Russell? He totally vanished now. I don't know what I do with Russell. It was Bill Buckner and it was Russell. Or did I throw him over here somewhere? Oh, here he is. Okay, so Russell is a 10, so he'll make that play. All right, so that's one away, 6-3, and it's Schneck is next. So at 23 will be a strikeout. And that's two away. And here's Grody, bottom of the eighth. 8-8-1 for the Mets. 5-9-0 for the Dodgers. We've seen a display of power in this game. Plenty of home runs. Hold on one second. Let's see what's going on. All right, almost finished here. Never very much peace in my life to finish a game. All right, here's Jerry Grody with 2 outs. And a 34 will be a ground ball, base hit past the diving Russell. So that's a 2-out single for Grody. And here's Teddy Martinez. Teddy Martinez with a 35, and that's going to be a line drive base hit. Stopping at second is Grody. He is slow, so I'm not even. And now it's McGraw is batting. So I should pinch hit for him. Bring in a lefty, Cranepool. Cranepool will bat, and then we'll grab a quick pitcher. Here's the pitch, and that's a 46. That's ballpark, a 9. And that's going to be a foul ball to the left side. Third baseman Ronnie Say in foul territory. He'll make that catch, and that retires the side. Last licks for the Dodgers, top of the 9th. Who's on the mound for the Mets? We'll see here. We're going to call on Apodaca. He had 3 saves. We'll call on Apodaca. Okay. All right. So it's not very often that I get a whole game in, with work and everything else. It's tough to get that time to do a whole game where I don't have to stop 10 times. So I try to do the short ones, the highlight. All right, here's Apodaca. Let's roll, and he will have his B stuff. We're gonna have to do it though. I got it. I got the insert. There we go. Apodaca on the mound for the Mets here. Russell leading off. Bill Russell. Let's see if the Mets can hold this lead. They lead it by 3 runs, 8-5. Here's the pitch, a 53 and a 4, and that'll be not. See if it's a hit. A 7, maybe not. It's going to be a range play on the left fielder, Cleon Jones. Will Cleon Jones chasing it down, and he will come up with it. He's a 10. He'll make the nice running catch. Cleon Jones in left field. Robs Russell. Here's Jimmy Wynn. Here's a pitch, and that's a 35, and that'll be a fly ball left field. Again, Jones makes the catch. 2 away. So the Dodgers are down to the last out, and Apodaca's 1 out away from a save. And the Mets from a victory against these Dodgers were tough. Steve Garvey with a 24 and a 1-3 hit by pitch. It's a 0, so that's a 1, so that's a hit by pitch. So the Dodgers stay alive here, and that's going to bring up the lefty Willie Crawford. Pitch from Apodaca, a 31. That's going to be a Ranger. A range play, and it's the first baseman, a 7. Will Milner make this play, or will he get by him? And if it gets by him, what is it going to be? Ooh, a double down the line. Double down the line. So let's see what happens. He's got to be at least a 7. I don't know that he is. Johnny Milner. He is a 7, makes a diving stop, flips to the pitcher covering, and that's the ball game. Wow. Just made that. Got lucky there, because that would have kept on going. Tom Seaver is going to pick up the victory. He's on 4-5. Andy Messersmith gets the loss. Tug McGraw picks up the save. I don't know how this works, but I thought that it was, I guess, the guy who pitches more time gets the save back in the early 70s. I thought Apodaca would get it, but he did not. But he did a good job. And MVP is Dave Schneck with the grand slam. Schneck hits that grand slam. Had 1 hit, batting only 186, but he made it count with that home run. And for the Mets, it was Schneck hits his 7th home run of the season. Martinez hit his 1st. Milner hit his 11th. And that's the ball game. Seaver gave up 6.2 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, 3.51 ERA. Messersmith, 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 6 runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 2 home runs, a 3.38 ERA. And that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. This is Tony Porter, and I will see you guys very soon. The Mets are now 29-31. The Dodgers are 40 and 24. Take care.